New England is known for our seafood, but the truth is New Englanders seem to be obsessed with steak. So much so that even high-end steakhouses are opening in the suburbs, including right here in Waltham, Massachusetts, home to the newest Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. I can smell the melted butter already.
Ruth's Chris is the leading fine dining steakhouse in the world. We have over 150 restaurants, and we just do it better than everybody else. We have the best food, and we have legendary Southern hospitality that Ruth Fertel, our founder back in 1965, instilled in the core of our company. Ruth decided she was going to make the wise decision with no experience of buying a restaurant. And there was a steakhouse for sale at the time down in Louisiana called Chris Steakhouse. So she purchased it and she operated it as Chris Steakhouse until there was a hurricane and Chris Steakhouse was destroyed. So part of her agreement was she could only use Chris Steakhouse, that name, in the original location. So the only way she could keep the name was to change it a little bit. So she quickly came up with Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and that's how we have the name today. So it's a tongue twister.
Ruth's Chris. Ruth's Chris's. Ruth's. I don't know where to put the apostrophe.
Ruth's, like the plural, Chris Steakhouse.
I can't say it, but I sure can eat it. I've been to the original Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in New Orleans, and I gotta say, this one, a lot more stylish, more spacious, swankier. But the thing is, you can go into any Ruth's Chris Steakhouse around the country or around the world, and you're always gonna get a consistently great meal because they get and serve the best of the best. Now let's talk steaks. Beef is what this place is all about.
The filet, ribeyes, New York strips, porterhouse, T-bones, tomahawk ribeyes.
A lot of restaurants will tell you, hey, be careful, that's a hot plate. They really mean it here at Ruth's Chris. It is a hot plate.
Well, of course, we have our signature sizzling plates. When you get a steak here, you don't just taste it. You're gonna hear it, you're gonna smell it. It's coming out of that kitchen on a 500-degree plate, a little bit of butter, a little bit of parsley. Everybody's head's gonna turn because you're gonna hear that sizzle, and that's what differentiates us from everyone else.
All of your senses are engaged. You hear the sizzling of that butter. You see it flying up. You get that wonderful smell of melted butter and beef all together, and then you get the feeling of drool coming right down your face.
It's the best steak I've ever had, and I can say that confidently. It's literally the best steak you're ever gonna have here. The meat will melt in your mouth, and of course, served on that sizzling plate, which you can't beat. It stays hot all the way through the experience.
Delicious. It's unusual for a steakhouse to be known for a seafood dish, but the barbecue shrimp at Ruth's Chris, this has real New Orleans roots.
We're gonna saute it in what we call our barbecue butter sauce. It's not traditional barbecue sauce that you would think of where you put on your ribs or anything like that. This is made of butter and wine, and we give you a little piece of bread because when you're done with the shrimp, you're gonna have a nice pool of sauce, and who doesn't love dipping your bread in the sauce? It's really the best part.
Like a lot of people, I love steakhouses because I love the side dishes. Sometimes it's the best part of the meal. Definitely is here at Ruth's Chris.
All of our sides here at Ruth's Chris are big enough to share, and we encourage that.
Ooh, Brussels sprouts.
We'd have a big portion of lobster mac and cheese. Many people I've seen order this and eat it as their entree.
Their signature side is a sweet potato casserole. Honestly, this thing is so good and so sweet, a lot of people get it for dessert, and I don't blame them. Sweet potatoes are nice and creamy on top. You get that pecan crust. Put your spoon in there, soft, crispy, sweet, savory. Wow.
Fantastic food, great hospitality. You're gonna feel like part of the family. You know when you leave here, you're gonna have a full belly, a happy heart, and it's just a good time.
We live in the golden age of the steakhouse. They are everywhere, even out here in the suburbs now, but I gotta tell you, you gotta go a long way and eat a lot of steaks to get a meal as good as the one you'll get right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. See, I said it right. Ruth's Chris.